I have this vision of bringing people apart from the everyday life to have time away to talk about and share, educate, and empower folks, equip them to go back into the workplace to really do this thing, what we call living reconcile or racial reconciliation. And I can see the components of transforming the community coming together in one location for an extended period of time for folks to be able to interact from all perspectives of what that would look like from economic, social, community transformation. I could see Mississippi using that to equip our leaders. The center would become a place where the Institute, William Winter Institute, the Episcopal Church, other denominations throughout the state would be able to come apart together and show the oneness of heart, mind, as we deal with this thing of race and how we can live this out in a practical way. And that people see practical evidence of the gospel message in action. Racial division hinders the gospel. And I think the timing is right for this. This is, I think we're here doing what we're doing for such a time as this. The world needs to see various different ethnicities, different denominations, different belief systems loving each other in spite of the fact that we don't agree on everything.
Thank you so much, Ruthie, for the invitation. Just to mention some ways that I think our interest here at the museum and your interest in thinking about the future of the Grace Center may intersect. And that is this sense of place, that we may be in Mississippi, and yet we don't think there's a but there. We think there is an and, that our story is central to understanding the American story. I mean, I think we're also mutually interested in our historic commitments to artists and to creative enterprises. Allison's Wells is such a big part of the story, not only of the particular real estate the Grace Center sits on, but also just the story of Mississippi's art formation and the ability of people to form community and to learn from each other, which was a big part of the founding of the Mississippi Art Association. And again, we both recognize that we are sitting at ground zero for race and equity issues in this country. One of the programs we're working on is building a curriculum to have these close-looking conversations in front of art that evolve into conversations about race and equity, and to share those experiences inside the corporate community where there's pressure, mounting pressure to have inclusion and diversity training. But, when it's a textbook curriculum about defining terms like microaggressions and implicit bias, it's I think, less impactful than when you're standing and looking at a portrait of Medgar Evers and you're talking about why the artist has portrayed him in a certain way and what his life experience was and where you were when you learned he had been assassinated and what your life was like then and what it's like now. The Ford Foundation and Bank of America and all these companies are now pouring billions of dollars into work around equity and inclusion. But I don't know that there's a residential center where you really go and you either meditate or engage or create in response to provocative conversations. And so where would you want to have it if you were going to have such a thing besides Mississippi?
One of the people that I admire is Michelle Obama. And one of the things that she said is, it's hard to hate up close. And for us, the work that we do, we are conveners, and we believe in people being in the same space and community together in an intimate setting. The majority of our work rests around a principle of being in circle, because the circle has no hierarchy. when people come into the circle, they are all equal. They can see one another. There's no barrier between them. And that is one of the pieces of foundational work that we do. We have three branches or pillars, as we call them, of our work, which includes community and capacity building, youth engagement, and policy and civic engagement. And under the umbrella of community and capacity building is our welcome table, which is our signature and probably oldest program. And this is the one that invites people to come in and be in community. We feel that getting people away from their day-to-day grind is very helpful in sitting in circle. So a retreat center would be ideal for welcome table. The way the program works, there is a retreat component that's part of it. Our youth engagement component, this will be our 12th year of Summer Youth Institute. That is the signature program that falls under the umbrella of youth engagement. And that is a 9-day experiential, program for young people, rising high school sophomores and juniors. And before we were impacted by the virus, we held that on a college campus. And it's the kids stay overnight. They stay for the 9 days. We are always looking for spaces. We've done retreats at different places in and outside of Mississippi. However, how awesome would it be to have such a space right down the road that we can use, that allows you to commune with nature, has the quietness that we need for self-reflection.
We've just heard some incredible things and some inspiring ideas on the possibilities for this property. So when the time comes, the Community Foundation for Mississippi would like to be your partner in this endeavor. We could do that in a number of ways. One is that we can serve as a fiscal sponsor for this project, which basically means that we are a nonprofit umbrella that allows donors to give tax-deductible contributions to a project like this. You may be familiar with the work we did with Refill Cafe, which incubated this project for 2 years, and then it launched into a separate nonprofit last year. The other thing we could do is perhaps even serve as a receiving vehicle for the property itself as the plans are made on what to do with it in the future. So we look forward to partnering with you in whatever way makes the best sense, and we are eager and willing to serve.